everyone and welcome to kaiCake.ch. I'm so happy you're here today. Whether you're into cakes, creativity, or just love watching how sweet things come to life, you're in the right place. I am Ida and this is my kitchen where all the magic happens. Today's project is something really special and I can't wait to show you what I've been working on. So for this order, I was asked to make 2 Firetruck cakes, one for a family celebration and one for a kita or a daycare center, as it is called in Switzerland. Each one with a different design, different taste, and everything edible. No inedible toppers, no plastic decor, just cake, frosting, and edible details from top to bottom. Now, here's the fun part. I actually have a son too, and as a baker, I always dreamed of making him a super cool decorated cake for his kita birthdays, but every time I asked, the answer was always the same. No decorated cake, please. It's too messy. So we always ended up bringing a very plain, simple cake. And that's why this order felt so special to me. When this customer told me one of the cakes was going to a kita, I honestly got way too excited. It felt like I was finally getting a chance to make that decorated cake I never got to bring to my own son's kita. I poured all that energy and joy into every detail of this one, and of course we kept it completely edible right down to the tiniest decorations. So I've printed this edible picture using my edible image printer, and now I've trimmed it neatly around the edges. It's all ready to go. I'm going to attach it to the fondant using my homemade edible glue. If you want to know exactly how I make this glue, I've shared the recipe in a previous video on my channel, and if you're also curious about how I design and make this picture or name banners, whether edible or non-edible, I've got a full tutorial for that too. Make sure to check it out, and of course don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the cake magic. You might notice I'm not wearing gloves here, and that's because working with fondant and edible images can be really tricky with sticky gloves. I always make sure my nails are trimmed short and my hands are washed thoroughly before handling anything. That way everything stays clean and safe, and I have full control when working with delicate details. Alright, my cakes are baked and ready to go. The table is set, and now comes the messiest part of making a cake, which is filling. So here I've got 2 different cakes with totally different flavors. One is a rich chocolate cake. It's going to be filled with my homemade strawberry coulis and chocolate cream. On my flavor menu, this one is called Berry Chocoloco, and the other one is a soft vanilla cake layered with a smooth vanilla cream and chopped bananas. This delicious combo is called Persian Diva on my flavor menu. Let's get into the messy part and build these beauties. So first of all, let me tell you that to keep my cakes moist and soft, I always wrap them in plastic while they're still hot, right after taking them out of the baking trays. And this helps lock in the moisture, and then I pop them straight into the fridge. When it's time to stack, I just unwrap and get going. Now, when it comes to soaking the cake layers, I'm not a fan of using syrup. Sorry, it's just way too sweet for me. I much prefer using milk. Sometimes I'll use chocolate milk for chocolate cakes, and sometimes just plain full fat milk. It gives a gentle moistness without overpowering the flavors. Here I'm adding the first layer, which is chocolate cream, followed by a generous layer of homemade strawberry coulis, and then the next cake layer goes right on top. So as I'm stacking these layers, I'm already thinking about Easter. It's one of those holidays that just screams baking fun. I still remember the first time I tried to make bunny cupcakes for my son. I had this big Pinterest level vision in my head, and let's just say the bunnies looked more like tired cats, but he loved them, and that's all that mattered. Now, every year around Easter, we do something together in the kitchen, even if it's just sneaking extra mini eggs while pretending we are baking. But anyway, back to this cake, layer, cream, and repeat. It's basically a workout at this point, right? Okay, stacking is one thing, but leveling the cake, that's where the real patience kicks in. If your cake layers aren't level, you will feel it later when you're decorating. And trust me, nothing tests your spirit like a wobbly cake sliding off to one side. So I always make sure to trim the tops with a knife or a cake leveler before stacking. Even just a little dome on top can mess up the whole thing. Think of it like setting a solid foundation. You wouldn't build a house on a hill, right? Same goes for the cake. So now, as you see, it's time for the crumb coat, the most underrated step in cake decorating. If you have ever tried to frost a cake and ended up with little crumbs showing through your buttercream, this is why the crumb coat exists. It's basically a thin first layer of frosting that locks in all those loose crumbs and smooths out the surface. Once it's chilled, it's gives you a clean, firm base to work on, so your final coat goes on smooth and crumb-free. It's like primer before makeup. Skip it and things can get a little messy real fast, so don't rush it. This step makes a huge difference. So now let's move on the second flavor. This one's a vanilla cake base, and I'm layering it with vanilla cream cheese frosting and some chopped bananas. On my flavor menu, this beauty is called Persian Diva. Why that name? Well, I'm originally from Iran, and when you say cake in Iran, this is what most people imagine. If you walk into a bakery and just ask for a cake, chances are you'll get vanilla cream with bananas and walnuts. It's the classic. So unless you ask for something different, that's the default flavor. For this order, my customer asked for the same traditional taste, just without walnuts. So this is Persian Diva walnut-free version. So my cakes have been chilling in the fridge for about an hour, and now it's time for their final coat of frosting. This part always feels so satisfying, like wrapping a present right before adding the ribbons. One of the cakes is getting a soft light blue finish, and the other one is going just a bit bolder with a deeper shade of blue. And just so you know, I made all the decorative elements 2 days in advance. That gives them enough time to dry and firm up properly, so they are strong enough to stand on the cake without folding or breaking. It's a little extra planning, but totally worth it. Also, I actually don't know which cake is going to the daycare and which one is for the family party, because the customer said her 3 years old will be the one making the final decision, so I made sure both cakes got the same amount of love. Alright, cakes are frosted and fabulous. Let's move on to the fun part, which is decorating. So here it is, my fondant Firetruck topper, complete with little flames to bring the whole theme to life. Before we go any further, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It really helps me keep creating more content like this, believe me. And if you're wondering how I made this Firetruck topper completely from scratch, good news, I've got a full detailed tutorial on my channel just for that, so go check it out after this video and let me know what you think. Now, this right here, this is my absolute favorite part of cake making, adding the final touches. It's where all the planning, baking, stacking and crumb coating finally come together and the cake comes to life. I seriously enjoy every second of this stage. It's so satisfying to see the design take shape. And honestly, I fall in love with every cake I make. You can probably even see it in the way I look at the cakes when they're done. There's just something magical about that final moment. Voila, we are done with the first cake. Now let's finish the second cake. Honestly, just look how cute these decorations turned out. I mean, come on, look at that white leather. So clean, so flawless. I'm obsessed. And if you're wondering how I made it, don't worry, I've got you. I'll be sharing a super short video showing exactly how I made this little ladder from scratch. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss it out. And while you're there, feel free to check out all the other cake magic happening. Tiny things like this seriously make me unreasonably happy. Now here I'm adding the fondant letters, and if you look closely you'll notice I actually used two different fonts for each cake. I just wanted to make a small change between the two, even though the theme is the same. It's a subtle detail, but it gives each cake its own little personality. I really enjoy playing with different font styles when I'm making name toppers. It's kind of like choosing the vibe of the cake. And honestly, this part of decorating is so relaxing, just me, the cake, and some tiny letters that for some reason take forever to line up straight, but in the end, totally worth it. So here I'm rolling out some red fondant mixed with a bit of yellow to give it this beautiful marbled effect, perfect for making flames. And yes, I'm cutting all the flames by hand. No cutters here, just a steady hand and a bit of imagination. Honestly, they're turning out so nice that you'd never guess they weren't done with fancy tools. This is a great reminder that you don't always need cutters to create cool details. Sometimes going freehand adds even more personality. Now I'm trying to apply the fondant flames around the cake, and let me tell you, it's kind of nerve-wracking. They are super delicate and I kept thinking I was going to tear one. So here's a little trick I use. I just wrap the fondant gently around my rolling pin and then unroll it straight onto the cake. It makes the whole thing so much easier and way less stressful. So if you're working with long, delicate fondant pieces, definitely try this. It's a total game changer. And how cute are these flames? These ones are actually a little different from the first cake. Instead of being fully made from fondant, these are hand painted. Yep, I painted every little flicker by hand to give them a bit more depth and movement. I love switching things up like this, even within the same theme. It keeps each cake unique and special. And that's a wrap on these two Firetruck cakes. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously, it means the world to me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm always sharing more cake decorating tips, tricks, and behind the scenes moments to help you become the perfect baker. One cake at a time. See you in the next video.